Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can, and I continue with BioShock Remastered. I'm still here in the medical pavilion. Let's use the Incinerate Plasmid to continue through here.
You're crawling with disease!
I will use the machine gun for a little bit. I have a decent amount of ammunition for it, so I should be alright. I will get another weapon soon-ish enough. Now, this is actually a rocket turret, which is not particularly useful in this location because it's positioned in such a way that when it tries to shoot an enemy, it's actually going to shoot this window, which in fact might actually hurt me if I'm not careful. Oh, there's something underneath this. Armor-piercing rounds. Okay, pretty useful. Is there a camera? There is. There is a camera right there. But there is also a passage through here that leads into a storage thingamajig. Which is certainly useful and beneficial. There's another tonic right here, Wrench Jockey. Wrench Jockey bulks up your upper body, allowing you to wield club-like weapons with unprecedented skill and power. Increases wrench damage. This is deceptively useful, especially when coupled with the electric plasmid. I guess this paddle didn't really work. Didn't really register as a body of water for the purposes of the mechanic of electrocuting people that were in water. What's that? How do I take that? It seems to be money, right? And it is money. It was $3. Okay. There's a camera right there, which I should try, at the very least, disabling, if not hacking. To be honest, hacking is a waste of time, kind of, because there's not many enemies around here, so you don't really get the benefit out of it, but I am doing it sort of out of a force of habit almost, just to make sure it's not only not going to spot me, but also might reap some additional benefits if an enemy stumbles upon it. Okay, but there's also a safe right here, which seems to be a very difficult hack, but I will attempt it. Okay, what's inside? 44 machine gun rounds. Pretty okay. Okay, let's continue exploring because there's an audio log right here. As you can see, there's a rather gruesome scene with a lot of blood, and this woman with her head half chopped off with a bone saw. And you can learn what happened by listening to this. Enrage trial.
Clinical trial lot 44, Dr. Suchong, client Fontaine Futuristics. subject is white male, one Roland Wallace. Can you hear me, Mr. Wallace?
Yes, sir, Mr. Stutong, sir.
Very well. Right, I'm introducing Lot 44 now. We've codenamed the Lot 44 Enrage because of its tendency to... Nurse? Hold him down! Nurse!
Yeah, there's not really much to comment here, is there? It's pretty self-explanatory. Why is it called Enrage and what does it do? There's a shotgun right here, but I am not going to pick it up yet. You will see why in a moment, but I am going to actually explore the other parts of this location first. Adam denies you an excuse for not being beautiful, I guess, would be the ending of that. I am going to also hack this, because this, on the other hand, might actually be kind of useful. For the reasons you will, as I said, learn soon-ish enough. There's an audio log, useless experiments.
At the German prison camp, they put me to work on genetic experiments on other prisoners. They call me das Wunderkind, the Wonder Child. Germans. All they can talk about is blue eyes and the shape of forehead. All I care about is why is this one born strong and that one weak? This one smart, that one stupid. All that killing. You think the Germans could have been interested in something useful?
Well, that's not actually that funny, you know. I feel kind of bad for laughing, but I laughed because it is kind of true that a lot of those medical experiments that the Nazis were doing, they were pointless. Like they didn't. In addition to being utterly unethical, they didn't have much actual scientific value, which, you know, makes it actually rather infuriating, as Tenenbaum herself noted, because not only was it, you know, utterly cruel and inhumane and wrong from an ethical standpoint, but it was also largely pointless. From, like, they were testing things that had no actual scientific bearing on much, which can be contrasted with the Japanese, because the Japanese have done things in World War II that were comparably fucked up, or even, you know, relatively more fucked up than the Nazis themselves did in regards to medical experiments, because the Japanese unit, I believe it was 731 or 631, it was like a research unit of the Japanese army, and they've killed hundreds of thousands of people in medical experiments, you know, all sorts of fucked up, crazy, cruel stuff, vivisecting people, you know, cutting them open while they were still alive to study, you know, how their organs worked exactly, or how they reacted to their injuries. They studied frostbite. They studied effects of various diseases, the effects of shrapnel and explosions on different ranges, and all that. But those information were actually deemed so useful by the Americans by the end of the war that a lot of those, well, pretty much the top brass of those scientists that did those experiments, they were granted amnesty by the USA by the end of the war, in exchange for sharing their actual results of those experiments, because the Americans realized, you know, the inherent value of a lot of those tests being done, you know, how people react to frostbite, how people react to different types of injury. It's all very, you know, very useful for a military to know, because it can help you treat your own soldiers better and prepare them better for, adverse conditions on the battlefield. But the Americans obviously knew that they could never reproduce that because it was a war crime, basically, what they did, what the Japanese did, and it was horribly inhumane. But nonetheless, the USA wanted those results, so that's, like, again, majorly fucked up. To me, that most of those people walked off, scot-free, because the United States realized how useful this information is, and it trumped issues of morality in the rise. But enough, vague rumblings. Let me. Okay, this is closed. Okay, I can't get in there by doing this. Okay, let's loot this. I can open the door for later, but let's explore this area and loot everything there is to loot. Oh, I remember this. This contains one of the most perfidious jump scares in BioShock. Because first, you get a corpse that appears right here. Not that freaky in itself, although it's more of a foreshadowing of things to come. But then you approach this table over here, and there is this fog or mist or smoke or some kind of a gas, and everything seems okay, and then you turn and there is this guy just standing there staring at you. Okay, Speedy Hacker. The most popular of the Smart Hack line, Speedy Hacker buys you the time you need to hack any electronic device. Time is on your side with Speedy Hacker, reduces flow speed when hacking. I can install it for now because I don't have anything else to install anyway. Plasmids are the paint.
Tenenbaum. Sometimes I pity the little freak. Such a tiny imagination. Content to sit there with the tanks of Adam tweaking and optimizing. I need to create. Adam is a canvas of a genetic modification, but the plasmids are the paint.
Darling, is that you?
Okay, that was
Stop right
that was pathetic as far as accuracy goes.
What price happiness? What price happiness? Who can truthfully say? What for every share? With tears we pay. Love is happiness. I've had happiness. But it ends
Okay, this
one
brings me
day.
back here.
Now I look at my
So I think this is the entirety of this location searched. So I can go further in here for now. Okay, I can only access this later because I need to use the Telekinesis Plasmid after I obtain it to pull the key towards me and open this. So I came through here originally, and I was here, right? Yes. There's nothing here, so that only leaves this place, and of course the shotgun, but I will get back to it a little bit later.
Always follow terrain.
The moon belongs to everyone.
Your troubles away.
Rupture Open. Score an ace for for dental hygiene. Sponsored by Telekinesis. So, if you remember, there was an advertisement about getting free plasmids for each after each root canal, and you can actually still get one of them. But fortunately for you, you don't have to get a root canal procedure done first, because all of the dentists are dead, presumably, or worse, insane. And they might want to actually give you a root canal that you don't even need, which is, you know, even more horrifying. So, if you go in here, there is testing telekinesis.
Clinical trial lot 23, Dr. Sejong, client Fontaine Futuristics. Work on telekinesis plasmid proceeding well. Lifting objects at distance presents no problem. Moving objects through space, no problem. Cannot stop speeding bullet, but can catch and throw faster moving object. Problem not with plasmid. Problem with reaction time. Sejong just get new idea for plasmid.
That is actually a very interesting point. That, you know, just because you can physically, like, just because you are able to stop bullets with your mind, theoretically, because you have the power to do so, doesn't make it so, because you are unable to react quickly enough to actually conceive of doing that, which I guess is used kind of as an explanation of why the telekinesis plasmid can't work as an anti-firearm shield in the game, because indeed it can't. It doesn't function against bullets, but that's because your character cannot react quickly enough. So, telekinesis. Pick up big stuff with your mind, throw them at your enemies. What else do you need to know? You have run out of slots and will have to replace a plasmid. You can buy more slots later at the Gatherer's Garden. Replaced plasmids can be re-equipped at the gene bank. Yeah, so I unfortunately don't really remember which one of those is more useful in the rest of this level, but I think I will stay with Electrobolt because it's freezing. Well, freezing. It is functionally a freeze. It stops enemies dead in their tracks. It's more useful for me because I can't aim, so I will replace Incinerate.
Throw objects at foes. You can even catch grenades and throw them back.
Yeah, you can do so with grenades, because obviously they are slower than a bullet. You can test that by picking up one of those. As you can see, this is a very effective plasmid because it doesn't cost that much to use, and the thrown objects are very powerful. It killed this thuggish splicer in just one hit. I think there's some money inside. Oh, that's even better. You can also enable this tennis machine that throws tennis balls at you. But it's mostly for the purposes of testing the plasmid. It doesn't serve any actual function. It's just for fun and to see how it works exactly. And I think I searched all of that, didn't I? Yeah, this is a very powerful plasmid, all things considered. Okay, so I'm finally ready. Well, let me save actually. I didn't save in quite a while. If I died right now, that would be rather frustrating, wouldn't it? And there will be an opportunity to die, because when you pick up the shotgun, you are going to get attacked. Okay, the light is back on, which is the signal that the ambush has been defeated. And now that I have the Telekinesis Plasmid, I can get in here, because I can summon the key towards me and use it to open this door. As you can see, once you hack a camera, it actually triggers an alarm whenever the camera sees an enemy, which is very useful because it basically spawns unlimited bots for 60 seconds, which is enough to defeat most enemies or severely damage a stronger enemy. So generally speaking, I would say it's definitely worth it to do it, to hack cameras. And it's generally worth it to hack everything, because it doesn't cost anything but time. And I am speeding it up anyway, so it shouldn't be that annoying for you. Okay, there's another security camera right here. Hacking this, on the other hand, is largely pointless, but I cannot help myself. Okay, there's also a safe to hack right here. Which I will obviously do. Okay, that's a very decent. That's a very decent save, all things considered. And I am pretty much done as far as this part of the level is concerned, and I am ready to progress to the main part of the level, right here.
You're crawling! You're sick! Nurse! They're running! Someone get them!
Okay, that was close as far as death is concerned. Okay, I will switch to this for now.
Parasite has his eye.
Okay, so Steinman's aesthetic ideals. The main path goes through here.
With genetic modifications, beauty is no longer a goal or even a virtue. It is a moral obligation. Do we force the healthy to live with the contagious? Do we mix the criminal with the law-abiding? Then why are the plain allowed to mingle with the fair?
Okay, you can see a Big Daddy right there, walking with a little sister, and it isn't the last you've seen of him. But for now we have to go forward. Aesthetics are a moral imperative.
Why do we have two eyes? Is there some law that says we must? 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 ears, 2 breasts? Well. This is quite incredible.
You'll have to find some way to get through to surgery and Steinman. Chin up now. The Lord hates a quitter.
Okay, so that's why I need. It didn't quite work. I thought he was dead already, and clearly he's not.
Okay, fine. You'll be back.
Come on. I would prefer to kill him before I venture forth, or before I explore, because I feel a bit uneasy having this guy, you know, around. And this threat of death over my head.
Nurse, clean this place. You question my judgment.
Okay, I think he's done. Is there a point in hacking this? I don't think so, because I don't need to buy anything and there are no enemies around here, so I'm not going to waste your and my time. Surgery. Corpse of a bald one with a rather cut-up face and an audiologue about symmetry.
Today I had lunch with the goddess. Steinman, she said, I'm here to free you from the tyranny of the commonplace. I'm here to show you a new kind of beauty. I asked her, what do you mean, goddess? Symmetry, dear Steinman. It's time we did something about symmetry.
Yeah, and what he means basically is that he's bored with the fact that that the human body is mostly symmetrical, although it really isn't. Like, especially from a perspective of a what's the word? Cosmetic surgeon, that should be apparent. that the human body is specifically not symmetrical, because there are indeed at least slight differences in how the left side of your face looks compared to your right side. It isn't like a mirrored image, and the same can be said about your limbs. They are not identical on either side of your body, which is kind of ironic when you think about it, because, as I said, he, as a plastic surgeon, should realize that better than anyone. But I guess mostly what he means is not necessarily symmetry in the mathematical sense. He means the sort of apparent symmetry that most of us would cite at first glance. The fact that we have 2 legs, 2 arms, 2 eyes, 2 ears, on the opposite sides of our body. He apparently began thinking that that's boring. How do I... I realized that was a mistake, actually, but I only realized because I should have hacked that bot instead of destroying it, but I only realized that sort of halfway through already damaging it, so I didn't see the point in hacking it then. Okay, let's go back a little bit, because there's some loot around here. Static discharge. Rand Industries introduces the latest in wartime deterrent genetics. Static discharge makes you a walking Tesla coil, zipping anything and everything foolish enough to strike you. Feel safe and be safe with the static discharge. You emit a burst of electricity when struck, damaging all around you. It's pretty useful, and I don't have any other tonics of this kind anyway, so might as well use this for now. Okay, there's a camera. Okay, there's a safe, which I will hack. Anything else in here? Oh yes, there is an audio log as well, but let's start with the save. Actually, I have 3 auto hacks. Let's use one to spare the time. Okay, it was decent content, I guess. And let's listen to this. Aphrodite walking.
Aphrodite is walking the halls, shimmering like a scalpel. Steinman, she calls. Steinman, I have what you're looking for. Just open your eyes, and when I see her, she cuts me into 1,000 beautiful pieces.
Okay, and you know what? No, I will fight him. I have enough time for that. So I was thinking about ending the episode, but I still have around, like, I don't know, 10 minutes, and that should be enough to deal with Steinman himself. This time, actually, disabling all of the healing stations is very useful, because he will use them throughout the fight, and if you wouldn't disable them, if you wouldn't hack them, he would actually heal to full health, which would be rather devastating because he has a lot of health. And speaking of that, what was the button for? Okay, because I can use the anti-personnel rounds. I only have a few, but should make for a strong opening to the fight. And there he is.
What can I do with this one, Aphrodite? She won't stay still! I want to make them beautiful, but they always turn out wrong! That was too fat! This was too tall! This was too symmetrical! And now... what's this goddess? An intruder! He's ugly! 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 Look at you! Here he is! I'm not finished with
you! As you can see, those anti-personnel rounds are very powerful. I am going to also hack this, because he would use it. Luckily for me, time essentially stops in this game when you're hacking, which is a bit unimmersive perhaps, but you know, it was a choice by the developers, and I am going to take advantage of that. But all in all, that was a decent opening to the fight. You could see how effective the anti-personnel rounds were in shaving off his health. And there's a save, but I will obviously not hack it. And not hack it yet. Oh, I have anti-personnel rounds for the... oh, well, I have one. Okay, that's not much of a... but he's pretty close to dying. Okay, maybe shouldn't have saved while getting shot at. But I will get out of the water because obviously when I'm in the water I cannot zap him because that would kill me as well. So I will lure him out and then zap him. And he's dead. Dr. Steinman. Emergency access key, that's what I was looking for.
You alright? It was time somebody took care of that sick bastard. Make sure you get the key off Steinman and head back to emergency access. I'm working my way to the backside of Port Neptune myself. We'll get there soon enough.
Okay, but first I will hack this. Or at least try. Okay, a lot of first aid kits, more than I can carry in fact. And before I end the episode, some more designs by Steinman, Office of Dr. Steinman. Before I end the episode, there is still an audio log to be found on the corpse of Steinman's latest victim. not what she wanted.
4-0 silk, and done.
The nose looks terrific, Dr. Steinman. Doctor?
You know, looking at it now, I didn't realize how much her face sags. Scalpel?
Excuse me?
Scalpel.
Doctor, she's not booked for a facelift.
Let's just come in here and...
Doctor, stop cutting. Doctor, stop cutting. Get me the chief of surgery. Get me the chief of surgery now!
Come to think of it, the logistics of this tape being on her specifically does not make much sense, because it's clear, well, it's clear-ish that it was like the beginning of Steinman, falling, what's the word? Falling insane? Turning insane? I believe it's turning insane. It was the start of his insanity, because it was still at the point where there was a chief of surgery that he could get reported to, which is obviously no longer the case. And yet, this is the latest of his victims. She was alive just a couple minutes ago while he was cutting her, so it's not like why does she have it, of all people? Actually, why does she have it at all? Like, who was recording that? Was he recording himself? Well, I guess so, because it showed his portrait, didn't it? But why was it on her corpse? As if she was carrying it, as opposed to lying somewhere over here. But I might be overthinking it. I am rather prone to that, generally speaking. But I'm actually going to end this episode here, because it has been long enough. Oh, frick. I didn't want to do that. That's a bit of a waste. But that's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.